So the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra and Note 20 were announced today with lots of fanfare and a really weird presentation. There was tons of cringy moments. If you didn't see those cringy moments, I'm sure you'll see them somewhere online being made fun of. Let's just say their presentation wasn't quite as good as Apple's, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is the hardware that they announced. Now, I was going to talk a little bit about my feelings about the Galaxy Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra and the things that they announced, but I'm actually going to save that for a video later in the week. So definitely make sure you subscribe if you want to see what I think about what Samsung has done this week. Instead, I decided to ask you. That's right. I set up a community tab post. If you're interested in voting in that post, which some of you may be, especially when you see the results, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can have your voice heard. Because a lot of people are not buying the Note at all. Like a stunning amount of people are not interested in buying the Note. So look, we're going to talk about that. And for someone like me who's had the Galaxy Note series since the Note 2, this is the first year I'm not buying a Galaxy Note. So maybe I'll throw my little 2 cents in there too. By the way, shout out to my man Rene Ritchie, who told me to try a different color shirt from my background. I usually match my merch with my background and people have liked that, but I want to try something new because Rene Ritchie has grown 2 channels to over 100,000 subscribers and I have grown 0 channels to 100,000 subscribers. So why not? Why not find out what Rene says? He's a smarter guy than me. So if you like the combination here, let me know in the comments below. Tell me if I should do the same color or if the different colors are better. Anyway, I'm going to tell you why most of you are not buying a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 or Note 20 Ultra right after this.
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name is Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below. But for now, let's just get into the video. Now, I'm coming fresh off the Pixel 4a video, and I don't know where the Pixel 4a nights come from, but let me tell you something. People were smashing me in the comments for that one. But I'm going to be right again, and I think I'm going to be right in this video as well. If you missed that video, I'll leave it like in a comment or a pinned comment or a description or something. I basically said the Pixel 4a ain't going to sell much, and it's not. Doesn't mean it's not a good phone. It's not going to sell very many. And I think I'm going to say basically the same thing about this phone. And while I can definitely bring you facts about the 4a and why it won't, because you can look at the past to kind of predict the present, and of course the future, the Note, I actually have some hard data on, just based on some of the things that you have told me in my community tab post. Now, it's not completely scientific. However, we do know one thing about the Galaxy Note series of phones, especially the top end, the Ultra, or the Plus, or whatever they want to call it every single year. And that is, it's expensive. And because of that, a lot of those people are doing research and watching YouTube videos. So really, the best kind of measurement of who's going to buy this phone is really kind of on YouTube. And guess what? My YouTube channel talks about smartphones. So I put a community tab post, and like I said, the link is in the description below if you want to check out the post and vote yourself, and asked all of you, are you going to buy it after watching the presentation from Samsung Unpacked 2020? And it was a resounding no. Now, ironically, earlier this year, I did a video about why Samsung should delay the Note 20, and this is literally exactly why. This is why. I love when I'm right, son. I love when I'm right. And then I even did a video most recently about why I think Samsung actually purposefully leaked all of these things about the Galaxy Note before they presented it unpacked. I still feel that way. I'm going to put that link in the description and probably in the end card. You need to watch those videos because, bro, man, I'm always going to let you know when I'm right. I love doing that. But in talking to you on my community tab, we learned some really amazing things. Now, let's be honest. This poll hasn't been up very many hours since I posted it here. But what I do know about these polls, having done many of them in the past, after a certain number of votes, the percentages stay the same. So what you're going to see here will likely be pretty much exactly the same within a point or two, even days or weeks later. They'll just have more votes, but they're all going to fall in line. Because the reasoning behind them is pretty much the same. This is the wrong time to release a $1,000 plastic phone, let alone a $1,300 super phone. It's just not the right financial or economic situation. By the way, look at the balls on Samsung releasing a $1,000 plastic phone. Now, of course, the phone itself is fine, but if someone told you that any company was going to release a $1,000 plastic phone, did you think it would be Samsung? I know I didn't. I know some of y'all gonna say it's polycarbonate and it's got Gorilla Glass on it and stuff. Bro, it's plastic. But I'm gonna go right over the Note 20 because I don't think it's that important. The Note 20 Ultra is the one that I'm really going to kind of point to because that's really what I asked people in my comment section. What are they going to buy? Now, you guys came back with some really interesting percentages. Now, let me just tell you right now, I asked people if they would buy it, they would pre-order it. If they would wait to pre-order it when it got cheaper. If they just think the phone was cool, but you're just not really interested. Or if they're just straight up not interested, just never mind. And that's the one that got the most votes. At the time of this filming, a whopping 50% of people straight up don't care about this phone and are not gonna buy it. Bruh. A further 22% said it's just too expensive, but they'll wait to get it when it's less expensive. Okay, that's not bad. So at some point they will get it. The crowd of it's okay, but it's not for me is 19%, right behind the one that's gonna wait to buy it. So if you combine all three of those for a segment of people that are just straight up not gonna buy it at launch, that's 91%. Bro, 91% of you are not buying this phone anytime soon. And only 20-something% of you are gonna buy it at some point when it's cheap and Samsung isn't making any money on it, because we're talking like secondhand market or super sales or something like that. So only 9% of you are buying this phone from pre-order or anytime soon. I wanna just say, some people get mad about, you know, brand loyalty. They get super hyped up about their brands and they say I'm paid by Apple or paid by Samsung. Neither one of these companies are paying me. Although if either one of them wants to pay me, you can email me. The email link is in my about page. You can email me. Listen, I'm up for grabs. Let's go. And they just get mad because facts don't care about their feelings. And to be honest, I don't really care. These things are tools. I don't care. I already know this phone is not going to be my #1 phone for very much longer because Samsung did announce something that I am going to buy. I'll talk about that in a future video. Make sure you're subscribed for that. But I will say this. This isn't terribly surprising. As I said in my Note 20 delay video when I talked about how Samsung should have delayed the Note 20 this year, it's just not the right economic climate. And all this year, they've made a lot of missteps. Now, of course, these phones are developed a year in advance, so they couldn't have known there was gonna be a pandemic. They couldn't have known that sales would be slow because so many people were not buying expensive phones this year. Actually, they could have figured that out. It's been the case for the last several years, but for whatever reason, this year, Samsung wanted to go expensive or go home. And it looks to me like people are just going home. They're just going home. They're not buying phones, or at least they're not buying Samsung phones. They are buying Apple phones for some reason. I made a video about that recently, link somewhere, maybe in the, I don't know. If I feel like doing it, I'll send you a link to that. Otherwise, just go to my page and watch it. But they're not buying Samsung phones. And that's even going back to the S20, which has not sold that great this year either. I wonder if that had anything to do with the polycarbonate Galaxy Note 20. I don't remember hearing anything about a plastic Note 20 coming out. Did they possibly swap it out so they could get it under $1,000? Was this thing actually going to be like $1,100 and the 20 Ultra to be more? Did Samsung pivot at the last second? We'll probably never know, but as you can see from these comments, people are not having it. Sinus says, it's an objectively amazing phone, but unless you're rich and enjoying Samsung phones, there's no reason to get it. Darth Vader, savage, says the Note 20, not the Ultra, costs $1,000, has a plastic back, 1080p, 60 Hz screen. No, I'll pass. Versatile says there's no point in the Note 20 at all. I've been saying that since last year and there's no new Note device. The S20 with an S Pen except for the Note. Super Saiyan says, so unnecessarily expensive, I will stick to my sub $500 phones because everything over $500 really seems like a waste. Interesting note, I actually made a video about under $500 phones and even a $250 flagship phone. I definitely will put that in an end screen. Make sure you check those out. And finally, Nick says, my Note 9 will be my first and last Samsung phone. They are trying too hard to be Apple. If I wanted that, I'd buy an iPhone. There are many more comments, and again, you can click the link in the description below, vote, and also leave a comment there to tell me why you either will or will not buy the Galaxy Note 20 or 20 Ultra. It appears that most people are not. We can talk about the presentation and stuff, and like I said, I'm going to go over a lot of that stuff in future videos, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. But I will tell you this right now, none of this comes as a surprise to me. I hope it does not come as a surprise to Samsung. They have unleashed some very expensive phones here, some very expensive phones in the S20, and of course the Fold 2, which Lord knows how much that thing's going to be. I'm going to sell a couple cars and blood to get that thing, I think. But what do you think? Of course, you'll tell me in the comments below, which phone are you going to buy? Or are you going to buy any of them? Or if you're not going to buy any of them, why will you or won't you? Will you or won't you? I don't know. I have some things I need to talk about. That presentation was crazy, but there is one thing that got my heart. I'll tell you about it next time. Peace and love. See you next time.